Hey guys, what is up? I wanted to do a follow-up video about the computer that I built. As you can see, it looks a lot different. I think I still have the video up of the blue case that it used to have, which was like 40 bucks. It's had a lot of upgrades and stuff, um, and tell you my experience with this PC so far. So there has been positives and some negatives during my sessions with it. One of the some of the negative stuff is, and this is kind of my own fault. Throughout time, it will get stuff in it that bloatware or whatever you want from downloading mods and stuff like that. And sometimes it gets so bad that you literally just need to do a full-on reset, but that's like the uh, last resort type thing. Um, Now, originally I was building this for 4K gaming, and it does, in a lot of games, it does do 4K very well, but the I think the sweet spot for it is 1440p. That's where it really shines. The specs have been changed dramatically. I have had quite a few upgrades throughout the years, including motherboard, case, graphics card, cooler, CPU. The last big upgrade was the graphics card. I think I overpaid on that, but whatever. So the CPU is a 3800X. The GPU is a 3070. The motherboard is MSI. The cooler for the CPU is a Thermalake. Uh, it's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's got a improved case with better cable management, so now the cables aren't all over the place. I mean, there's still cables, but not nearly as bad as it used to be. Because the other case I had, even though it was cheap, did its job very well, it did not have anywhere for the cables to go, so they were all just in the front, and it was affecting performance. Uh, and then, of course, the speakers that I have as well. Then there's my screen, which is a game. It's only a 60 hertz, but I mean, don't really care about, you know, I think 30 is a bit of a downfall. 60 is pretty much the perfect for what type of games I play, which is mostly racing simulators. I do play Battlefield and some other games like that as well. Um, so yeah, this has been kind of my 1440p monster, I guess you could say. The case, it's a mid tower case, so it's just everything just kind of fits snugly in there. Performance wise, in terms of thermals and stuff, have gotten a lot better. Before, like I used to have the Ryzen default RGB cooler. I managed to upgrade that to something better so that it wasn't, uh, starving it of its. I mean, the cooler that it came with the CPU was good, but once I put this in, it was a lot better. See if the temps here will show you the kind of temps going on. I hate when this comes up every time. I wish I could just not have that come up. So it's running at 37, 38C. I wish this would start at default when I start up the computer, because as you can see, as soon as it came on, the temps started dropped. Um, there's something with the BIOS. For some reason, the CPU tends to run at a very high voltage, way higher than what it literally needs. Um, which is I think it's like 1.4, and I can drop it to like 1.3, and it actually performs better because it doesn't need to have the really high voltage tends to like cause problems and stuff like that. So there's like I guess the peak voltage here, um, which of course you can kind of change all this stuff as well. Uh, Second fastest car says it's asleep. What the hell is that? Okay, that's weird. So I guess it's not using all its cores at the moment. I've never seen that before. That's weird. Um, Interesting. Anyways, so this is many years of saving and waiting and stuff like that, and I think I'm pretty happy with what I got. Um, so, and then of course my whole setup and my track IR and all that good stuff. I barely touch my PS4 anymore. I just I got rid of my Xbox One because it was like most of the games that are on Xbox you can get on PC now, so it's like, what's the point in buying an X or paying for an Xbox Live when you can literally just play everything on the PC? So yeah, this has been just a random video that I wanted to do about my basically my pretty much new computer. Um, I'm pretty proud of it. If you guys, once things get better, I would highly recommend that if you want a gaming computer, once everything settles down, is build one. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times when you buy a pre-built computer, they will come with components like the more important components like power supply and motherboard and stuff like that. They'll cheap out on those, and then they'll charge you a premium, and it's not it's and then you also get the satisfaction that you built it yourself and you can put whatever you want in it and you don't have to deal with bloatware or anything like that until you go on some weird sites, and then suddenly your computer gets all this stuff, and then suddenly ads start popping up, and then suddenly police shows up at your door saying that you were looking up stuff you weren't supposed to, and then suddenly you're arrested and you're put in a cage with Big Bubba, and it's shower time and you can't hold